on a whim, we're starting on the next phase of the electrical here, which is replacing the wires into the house. And just figured I'd show you guys this. I've showed you how we ran all the conduit. We just started feeding the wires, so you can see they're bunched up in there. Two 2-aughts for the 200 amp, or 2-aught copper for the 200 amp service. 1-aught copper for the neutral, and then I think we've got like a 2-gauge or 4-gauge bare ground wire in there. So anyway, I actually just wanted to mention here one of the little tricks that we've learned. Of course, electricians are rolling their eyes, but we tape all the wires together to make a cable before we pull them. But when it goes to getting through these LBs, you can't hardly turn that corner with all of them as one bunch, but it's easier to work one wire at a time. So we tape up the most of the cable as one big bunch, but then we make sure we have it separate to where when we have to turn a corner in that LB, you're actually able to push through one wire at a time, and that's way more helpful. We fought on the shop, we fought for probably 10 minutes trying to get around an LB, pack it in there, and then finally decided to do it one wire at a time, and it just slipped right in easy as could be. So we've got this outside in. I'll put this plate back on for now, and then we'll scamper up in the attic, and we've got another LB immediately inside of this one we've got to turn through, and that'll be it for today. And then tomorrow the power company is going to come and yank the meter so that we'll actually be able to have the entire house dead, know that we're dead, and then we'll hook in all these wires as the new wires, and we'll cut off the old ones. I'm sure they're stapled inside the wall, so we'll just cut them off where we can to get them out of the way, but we're not going to be able to pull them out. We'll try to pull them, but I don't suspect they'll come. So that's the plan. We'll show you what it looks like up in the attic, and then we'll get it taken care of. Okay, so here we are back up in the attic, and you can see right there is where the wires are sticking through from that LB that I was just showing you on the outside of the house. So yeah, this one's going to be a real struggle trying to lay in there in that low peak and be able to turn all that around the corner and get it shoved in. For now, we're just going to be running out through this first 10-foot stick, and then we'll dump it out through here. And then tomorrow, once we pull those existing wires out of the way, we'll glue in all the rest of our conduit and fish it in the rest of the way. So that's the plan. Let's see if we can get this puppy fought in. Okay, we're back at it this morning. We're trying to hustle to get it done. The utility showed up, pulled the meter about 30 minutes ago, and they tested everything, verified the system's dead. I tested as well. The generator, the backup generator, actually will kick on when they lose power at the meter. So it actually turned on, and then we had to go over there on it and shut it all off too. I've checked it all with the meter. Everything's dead, dead, dead. So what we just did first, there were 3 wires in here that were running up into the attic. Those were the wires that were run to the sub panel in the house that were wrong because they weren't bonded properly. These are the new wires that are replacing those coming in through the top. Interestingly enough, the 3 wires that were in here were not, they weren't secured to the wall, to the stud inside the wall. We figured they would be, but I told my father-in-law just jump there in the attic and just see, and sure enough, they pulled right out. So the problem with the system, and again, I'm not a certified electrician, so if there's one out there who's going to correct me, I'll take it. But I have consulted with an electrical engineer who understands electricity very, very well. And the problem is that the system is bonded in a loop, especially here at the panel, because what we've got here, we've got neutral and ground. I just disconnected this one. But you can see neutral and ground are bonded here, and then they've got them bonded again here in the Generac panel. So what we're going to end up doing is not having them bonded here. So we're going to move these grounds over to this bus, which is not connected with the neutral. So this is an independent bus bar. We'll use this one as our primary ground bar, and we'll carry that back over here, and we'll bond everything there. That's what we're working on today. That's why we had to be able to get into all 3 panels, have the system dead. Plus, we're going to be, again, we're just replacing these wires because the old ones in the house, they weren't really run correctly, and we had to run a dedicated ground anyway, so we had to run the conduit anyway. We didn't think we'd be able to fish it up through this existing conduit. So that's why we're doing what we're doing, just so y'all understand. But we got things ripped apart right now, so I know it looks a mess. But like I said, we've just disconnected our neutral here and our 2 power lugs here, and now we're going to be working on hooking them back up, and then we'll get all of our grounds and everything hooked back over here and bonded properly. So this is looking at the main panel in the house. I've went ahead and disconnected the big leads. My father-in-law's up in the attic. He's going to pull them out here in a second. But part of what else I had to do was I had to swap. You can see what they've got done here. See, they bonded. There's a bridge here. So all your neutrals are on this bus. All your grounds are on that bus, which, I mean, this panel looks nice. Doesn't it? So nice and organized and labeled, but it's not correct. That's the problem. They bonded it down here. So we're going to remove this bar, which will effectively isolate this bar from this bar. And then I also had to swap these over. So they had this big lug for the main neutral. They had it over here. And they had this little guy for grounds over here. So I just swapped those back and forth. So now our main neutral wire will connect up on this bus and have all your neutrals. And our main ground will connect here and have all the grounds. So again, just a little bit of housekeeping is all we're doing. We're just kind of changing things around. We're cleaning it up. We're making it right. And of course, pulling the new wires. But this, again, not hard stuff. Just kind of showing you guys what we got going on. Just little swaps, little breaks, disconnects, wherever they need to be to make sure everything's properly bonded. Okie dokie. Well, there's the grand reveal. We managed to hook up black and black and white like you're supposed to. Power's on at the house right now. We are running off the backup generator because the power utility has not come to reinstall the breaker or the meter. But I'm just going to show you guys one more time what we did. Initially, the issue was that they had bonded here. There was a bar across the bottom here that was bonding ground and neutral at this panel. So there was no dedicated ground running from this panel back to the main panel. Now there is. I put in the dedicated ground. Here's our dedicated neutral. And we've removed that bond at the bottom. So everything's on the neutral side like it's supposed to be. Everything's on the ground. Going out here to the main panel, they had done it again. So out here, they had neutral and ground bonded. There was nothing hooked up to this bar on this side, period. So I made this the dedicated ground. So you see here our neon green, that's our dedicated ground hooked up to this bar. We've got the ground coming from the house, we've got the ground coming from the shop, and that's the ground off the septic breaker, which is this 20 amp right here. So that sends dedicated ground and neutral, so they're broken here, all the way here to the Generac panel, which is the first panel in the system. Here we've bonded neutral and ground together, and that wire that's marked as white is actually your ground. So it's coming back out, coming across, it's running right through here, and it runs down into this conduit, and that goes down to the ground rod. So everything's hooked up, everything's on and running. We went ahead and started the generator just as a test to make sure that something weird didn't happen. We also did do resistance tests and voltage tests to make sure that I didn't get some wires crisscrossed in here. I really didn't think I did, but then I started second guessing myself and freaking out. Worst case, what I was concerned I had done, I was concerned that I had gotten my neutral, I was concerned I got this neutral and that positive. Just for whatever reason, I was concerned I got them crisscrossed. And I can't see markings on them. This one, this main lead here, I can see the stenciling or lettering on it that says that it's a 2-aught. But I couldn't see any markings on this one or this one, and I was like, man, they're not visibly different sizes. And so I was like, what if I got them crisscrossed? Well, there's a 50-50 shot. If I had, we would have turned the generator on, and it would have immediately blown the breaker, as it would have been dead short. But that didn't happen. And again, we did our voltage test through the neutral wire just to make sure that we didn't have that. So that gave us the reassurance. We just used a car battery as a voltage source. And we hooked a wire up here, insulated wire, drug it out across the ground, and then used that as a lead or a lead extension off the voltage tester. So yeah, everything's on, everything's done. It was a whole hell of a lot of work for really kind of a nuisance, because again, everything was working fine. The issue was when you have things bonded in multiple places, you can create a potential loop to where the electricity could sit there and just run circles. And if it did that for some reason, it could get your wires hot, melt the insulation, cause a failure. So the system was working. The house has been wired like that for 10 years or however old it is, but now it's better than it was. So that was the whole point, was just going back through. Since we're doing it anyway, let's go back through and let's do it right.